Welcome back to Hermitcraft Season 10. This is episode 10. We're on double digits now. Today I'm going to start things off by getting good. You see, I've kind of been slacking on the good stuff department. I mean, all of this stuff is good, right? But I didn't actually gather it. I don't have many tools. I don't have many resources. I've only got 13 diamonds to my name. My neighbor is absolutely making me look bad. So I'm going to go mining for 12 hours. Let the first session begin. And the first session is getting geared up for the first session. I am sold out of item frames, which is good. That is good, but also bad. I will restock soon. Okay, let's get ourselves some mending books, a fortune book, and one efficiency 5. Maybe 2. So that's 15 diamonds spent. First Enderman jump scare of the season. So I now have a nice mending fortune 3 pickaxe. This one will come in handy down the line. I got my second mending and unbreaking 3 elytra. That is actually good. And now I'm fully geared up and ready for my mining marathon. Let me just put my timer up onto the top corner of the screen. That is now there. It looks rather lovely, doesn't it? And that will kick into action as soon as I find a good cave to go into. Let the process begin. And let me tell you, I think I've accidentally stumbled across a really genius strategy here. This was not planned. I was planning on just doing a completely regular caving session. I was gonna fly into a really big cave system, try and get as many resources as possible, leave that cave system, rinse and repeat. But accidentally, I came across a cave with a gigantic water body attached to it. Now, this is something I actually ignored for the first sort of 45 minutes of the session. I was just gathering all the resources, dealing with the mobs. Didn't really want to touch the watery side because I was worried that I would drown. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know, I've got a really well-enchanted helmet. It takes me a very long time to drown. I would have to do something pretty special to drown. And actually, in the water, there aren't really that many mobs. Like, the drowned mobs don't spawn in caves. It's literally just glow squid. And the best thing about being underwater is that you're essentially playing in creative mode. I can fly around freely. You know, I can zoom about. So if there's hard to access ores that are up in the ceiling, well, because the whole thing's flooded with water, I can just fly up to the ceiling and get them without having to pillar up and worry about skeletons and things. So I went into this body of water, and it turns out it was huge. It's like the biggest underwater cavern I've ever seen. And I was just zooming around, collecting resources, and just never having to worry. Like, there was nothing to worry about. There was no chance that a creeper was going to come in and blow me up. There was nothing. I just had to kind of keep an eye on some bubbles down at the bottom of my screen. But other than that, it was free resources. And I continued like this for the best part of 2 hours. And I don't think I've ever got so many resources in such a short space of time. I got stacks upon stacks of diamonds. I got tons upon tons of other bits and pieces. Then once I was finished with the deep stuff, I went higher up and started gathering all the coal and all of the copper. I was flooded with resources. The only issue is, I then thought I could recreate this, so I was flying around trying to find caves that fit the same description as that one I'd just been in. I couldn't find any. I wasted an hour just going in and out of caves. So I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to recreate that again. I mean, I really was not expecting to be looking at this 1/4 of the way in to our 12-hour sesh. That is pretty nuts, right? You could almost argue it was chuffly. I forgot to restart my timer. I've found one, I think. I think I've found one. The big question is this can't be the one? This can't be the one that I was in. There's no way I wouldn't have spotted those diamonds. I have found a new massive underwater cavern. Yes! This is so cool. Look at this place. There are just diamonds everywhere. Oh my goodness, it never ends. I'm literally just going from one set of diamonds to the other. Oh, this is good. I will say, I don't think this one feels quite as big as the other one, but it's still a decently big cavern. Okay, I lied. This is actually a pretty big cavern. I think we may have peaked extremely early, though. As far as I can tell, those are the only diamonds that are in here. Oh, spoke too soon. It has an extra little extension that goes deeper into the depths. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. This is good. I keep finding little extra areas that have diamonds stored in them. So now I guess I can move on to the regular dry caverns. And that's a good start. I feel like this would be difficult to find resources in. I have a plan for an experiment. Having spent almost exactly 3 hours to gather up all of these resources, I think now I'm going to change technique and see what happens. I'm gonna need a few more furnaces for this one. So I'm hoping I should have gathered up just enough iron to create the base of a beacon, and I'm also hoping I gathered up just enough coal to smelt up all of the iron required to make the base of a beacon. And now we're going to try and mine the way that I used to mine before the Caves and Cliffs update. You place down a beacon, and then you basically clear out the entire area. I want to see if the volume of blocks that are cleared outweighs the exposure to air of diamonds. This is going to be very, very interesting. For all of about 15 minutes. You see, I spent probably about a stack of diamonds getting prepped for this. I bought the beacon, that was 20 diamonds. Then I crafted up a bunch of diamond pickaxes, bought all of the enchanted books to enchant them because I knew this was going to be quite a pickaxe intense activity. And then I started mining and very quickly noticed just how painfully slow it was. Even with Haste 2 and Efficiency 5, Deep Slate is just savage. 1 full hour gave me next to nothing. So I cut the experiment off and went back to the old-fashioned way. Or I guess you could say it was the new-fashioned way? This is what I managed to get. I mean, it's not terrible, I will say. About half of these diamonds came in the last couple of minutes. More importantly, it was just incredibly boring. Like, it's so dull. So I'll be very happy to head back to the mines for the next couple of hours. And also, despite it not being particularly useful for the time being, I'm also pretty happy that I bought a beacon and got all of the iron blocks required to make it. That is something that I probably would have put off for a considerable amount of time. So I'm glad I've spent the diamonds now. It's done. It's in my possession. This is looking pretty good. Let's dive in. It didn't go down as far as I thought, and I still need a better sword and better skills, to be honest with you. Okay, now that is what I'm talking about. Goodness gracious me. Yes. It is always crazy finding these places. Oh my goodness, this place is huge. Wow, I am already having much more fun than I had for the past hour, even though I'm potentially in extreme danger at all times. I've spotted diamonds, multiple diamonds, multiple diamonds. See, this just frankly did not happen to me while I was doing the other mining bits. Okay, I'll be honest, they were all single diamonds. That's not really that exciting, but finding an iron vein is always pretty exciting. I must admit, I'm not sure I'm getting that lucky. I mean, this zombie's stolen my diamond. I feel like I'm getting ridiculously unlucky with the size of these diamond veins. Like, I'm not sure I've ever found so many diamond veins whilst getting so few diamonds. Okay, this is looking like a good one. Yeah, kinda not. I think it's time we went back to time-lapsing. And I'll be honest, I think this time I hit a bit of a fatal flaw. You see, I was so committed to my original idea, the original plan, the one of finding the underwater cave and floating around as if I'm playing in creative mode, gathering up all the resources, that I kind of ignored regular cave systems. I was flying over oceans, I was looking for deep crevasses in the oceans that I could just dive into, go straight down into the deep slate, gather a ton of resources, and then fly out of them. That just did not happen. I honestly think that cave that I found at the start was an incredibly rare anomaly that I just assumed was a normal thing in cave generation. But I think I got ridiculously lucky because every single time I found a deep ocean cave, it only went a little ways down. It didn't quite go far enough. It was never quite big enough. I would only get a couple of diamonds, and then I'd have to leave. So I think it's time to change strategies once again. Now, don't get me wrong, despite my complaining, we are still doing incredibly well for diamonds, and that technique did give me over 4 stacks in 3 hours, and this whole mining session so far has given me over 9 stacks of diamonds. Remember, I spent 64 to do my stupid beacon experiment, but for my next mining strategy, I honestly, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Look at this crazy natural generation of resources here. I'm just going to spend the next few hours mining this before you all collectively punch me in the face. That was a joke. I am, however, going to change strategy, though. I want to get tons upon tons of copper. There's loads of it lying around at the top areas of caves. It's not really that difficult to get large amounts of, but equally is a pain in the backside to get when you need it. And to be honest with you, the sun's just come out. It's glaring through my window and hitting my screen. I literally can't see any of the resources in the dark caves. And once again, I found myself underwater and then almost underground. Goodness me. Things are going very well for me here. Yeah, I'm going to spend the next few hours doing this. I'm finding this way too much fun. And so begins the Great Copper Marathon. And at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I'm going underwater again. You're going to have to check my neck after this episode for gills, because I swear I might be turning into a fish. Let me explain my reasoning here. Okay, it does kind of make logical sense, I think. There's a few ways in which you can get copper. One of the most efficient ways is you locate a stony biome, which has lots of exposed stone, and then it has That means it has lots of exposed ores, copper being one of those ores, and you can absolutely strip it out. It's a way to get absolutely tons of the stuff. But the issue is those biomes are slightly tricky to find, and also I imagine most of them in the nearby vicinity have been absolutely stripped out by hermits, so I thought I wouldn't do that. And then traditionally mining going into the deep slate and things didn't seem like it was a good idea. Going into cave systems seemed a little bit pointless, so I thought I'd just go underwater. There's loads of these massive underwater caverns. They're no longer uncommon because I don't need them to be really deep. They can be above Y0, and they are absolutely covered in copper. So I just floated about, gathered up tons of the stuff, and again, I'm absolutely rolling in resources, having a fairly stress-free experience. Honestly, if Speedo want to reach out and sponsor a future Hermitcraft episode, I'm all ears. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So we've got all 3 of these shulker boxes. Yeah, heaps of stuff. Absolutely heaps of stuff. And even over a stack of diamonds, which was a pleasant surprise. But now I think I'm done faffing around. Okay, I need to be brave, and I need to head into the mines properly. No more of this floating about. Okay, I refuse to go underwater for the next mining session. I'm going to do some proper caving. And for that, I need a better sword than this. I hadn't quite realized how bad it was. So I definitely need mending. Mending's one. Definitely need sharpness. That will come in handy. And, oh, what else? I mean, I was kind of considering adding fire aspect, but is that actually a good enchantment? Like, is that something worth getting? I mean, I might as well get knockback. That would be good. And I also might as well get flame for my bow, because with dynamic lights, I might be able to see easily into a cave. Now, if I have a massive cave system, I can shoot an arrow through that cave system, and that should highlight any ores potentially for me. That seems like a pretty good strategy. Oh no, the knockback book that I've bought has looting 3 on it, which has bumped the price up in the anvil, so now I have to go get some levels. But I am now fully geared up. I have got the kit, got everything that I need, apart from food. I really didn't have enough food. Or firework rockets, to be honest with you. Okay, I really don't have everything that I need, but now I do. A Totem of Undying would have been nice, but I don't think anyone's selling them yet. So let's kick this pain train into gear. Does this work? Does this work? Does this work? Yes, it does. Oh my goodness, I found danger in the water. I flew straight into pufferfish. I guess that's what I get for attempting to break my own rule. Okay, I have genuinely accidentally found an underwater cavern. I wasn't trying to do this. I was in a regular cave and then started swimming into a pond, all right? When will this ocean end? It is tempting me with its deep, safe waters. Seriously though, I've flown 7,000 blocks west and it's been nothing but water so far. Yes. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I am looking for. Excellent news. First cave diamonds. I genuinely think the strategy is just to keep moving really fast. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go. Definitely the way to go. Ignore the spider. Ignore the spider and start running. My only goal is diamonds. So that is all I'm getting. I'm not sure this is the fastest way to get ore resources, but getting over half a stack of diamonds in just under 15 minutes is not bad. I am stressed though. I must admit it's taking years off my life. I think, to be honest, it also only really works in the massive caverns. As soon as the caves start getting noodly, that's when you start running into issues. So I think I'm done with that one. Let's move on. I have no idea if this is the same cavern. It doesn't feel like the same cavern. It doesn't look like the same cavern. I don't think it is. Yes, this is working. I kind of expected more from this one. Onward. Oh my goodness, this one's absolutely huge. And, oh, that was actually a precise landing. I saw lava as I was coming in. But honestly, this one was a little bit pants as well. Oh no! Extra pants! Oh no! That was bad. I got, oh... That's really bad. I don't know where I am. I've just flown like 7,000 blocks west. What am I gonna do? Oh, gosh. And I had a stack of diamonds on me. Oh, I don't even have my ender chest. I now need to go in search of an ender chest so I can get my stuff. I'm just gonna quickly lie to Corrales. I don't want to embarrass myself. I think I was starting to get a little bit arrogant and I got into the caves. Oh no, I've got barely any armor. So I got into the caves, and I was trying to do the Elytra technique, and then a creeper blew up just as I took off and I hit a wall, and I died. Now thankfully that place is so far outside of the loaded chunks that I think we should be okay in terms of things despawning. I don't think anything should despawn. Nobody should be out there. I only have a Bane of Arthropods sword, which isn't exactly excellent. But to be fair, it's no better than the sword that I was using the entire time. It's only when I got the good sword that I died. Oh my goodness, am I about to die again? Am I about to die again? Is that actually what's about to happen? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's wait for some beef to smelt up. I'm trying my best to stay calm here. I really don't want to lose all that stuff. This is absolutely not the time, mate. This is not the time at all. 15 steaks should be enough. Let's fly west. Okay, I remember this thing, so we are on the correct course. Oh, this is newly generated terrain. Okay, we've gone too far. No. Maybe, is it this? Is it this? Oh, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. How am I meant to know? What's painful is I feel like I'm nearby. But that's arguably worse, because that means I'm in the wrong place, but my items are gradually despawning. This place has so many massive holes. Why are they all here? Now, I've got absolutely no chance on this one. None whatsoever. Even if I found the right cave, I don't know if I'd recognize it. Like, have I ever been in here before? I don't think I have. Yeah, I think this is the cave system. I think this is the cave I was in. Where was I, though? Okay. Well, I don't think I can find my stuff. It's unfortunate. It is the truth. I think I'm going to have to come to terms with that. This cave is pretty good, so I'm going to steal the diamonds and then get re-geared up. That cave was really good. I got 17 diamond ore just sprinting through with the bare bones resources. And what's worse is, I'm 90% certain that was actually the cave. I flew out and then flew in through a cavern that I absolutely remembered. Sometimes that's just the way Minecraft goes, I guess. But what have I learned from it? Okay, every single time I enter some form of big cavern, I'm going to take a screenshot of my F3 screen. That seems smart. And as soon as I'm in the noodly bits of the caves, Elytra are off bounds. I'm now going to fight with my sword and with my bow. I'm not going to try and fly away and escape. This has been a very expensive shopping trip. Goodness me. And that was just on the books. I've also bought ender chests. I'm having to buy string. I honestly think the sound of many endermen dying is one of the worst sounds in the world. Things are gradually getting back on track. The final thing that I have to do now is re-enchant my bow and we will be back in business. And the diamonds that I got in that cave have actually just paid for my re-gear up. So I kind of didn't lose anything. And in fact, I've actually come back stronger. So with 1.5 hours to go, let's get to work. And I want to be fully focused, so I'm going back to time-lapsing. Now, I think during this final time-lapse, it would be good for me to talk about my mental state at this point, because obviously I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, and I've been doing a lot of what would be considered to be fairly uninteresting tasks. You know, I'm just gathering blocks, essentially. I'm not being creative at all. This is purely a grind. I would say I was in a good space, but putting the most mentally intense segment at the end, aka the one where I'm having to be in the mines actually fighting things, probably a bad idea. I was really struggling to keep it together, and I was really struggling to stay focused on what I had to do, and that made things dangerous, but thankfully I managed to survive. And that, my friends, is that. 12 hours of mining is over. You can see the little timer in the top left-hand corner. That last hour and a half was ridiculous. That was so good. I found my flow. I was just caving. I was doing it the old-fashioned way. There was a little bit of underwater stuff, but it was incredible. I'm now going to tot up all my resources. Well, first I have to fly 15,000 blocks home, but then I'll tot up my resources. And I mean, I guess you could say this is a bit of a flex, but it's taking me quite some time to do this. But the totals are now totaled, and they're looking chuffly. So let's start from the bad end. We've got gold. Didn't really care about gathering up too much gold. I plan on making a gold farm. Next up, we have got coal. That is a decent quantity of coal. That should keep me good for the foreseeable future. Then next up, we have got the lapis. I will never need this much lapis. I don't know why I kept gathering it so much. I hadn't kind of realized that I was gathering it so much. Look at this. Okay, now we're getting into the good bits. Redstone. That's a decent quantity, but honestly, I kind of stopped prioritizing it halfway through, and that is much less than I would have expected. If there was any resource that I wanted to get more of, it's probably this. But moving on from there, we have got copper. That is amazing. That is so good. I'm so happy with how much we got here. And that really is from just those couple of hours of dedicated copper mining underwater. Then of course we have got the iron, which we did fantastically well on, mainly thanks to iron veins in the caves. I know I plan on making an iron farm, but it feels really good to know that I mined all of this stuff manually. But then here comes the big one, the diamonds. I managed to get in total this many diamonds, which is pretty good, especially considering 4 hours of our 12-hour mining session wasn't actually dedicated to getting diamonds. And importantly, I spent a good number of stacks of diamonds, probably 3 stacks of diamonds, actually re-gearing up and buying things to do failed experiments. So, my 12-hour mining session was a massive success. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!